You know, it's pretty crazy if you think about it, that it all started off with a group of pilgrims and a group of Native Americans who rejoiced and created one of the most significant holidays throughout the human race history. And up to this point, it became one of the most traditional holidays here in our country. So I would like to show you what it looks like for me. Really crazy to think about it, like it just happened. Especially like the main important part was that when Abraham Lincoln was in office, he decided to make this holiday a traditional holiday and a national holiday. But it wasn't particularly one person who decided to send out so many letters to him, and it took him a long time. It took the person a long time to actually convince Lincoln to create this holiday. So how would this impact me? It's not just only me that's being impacted. It's basically all the families, everyone who are living in this country, or anyone outside who are celebrating Thanksgiving. You know, it's a very important time for people. You know, say that you could just look back and see like, okay, what just happened? Are there any good things that happened to you? Are there any bad things? Do you think it's a good change? Do you think it's a bad change? And just from that, I always have that perspective about Thanksgiving for basically my whole life, because I figured that, like, if like families, they tend to be much more like, some families would have struggles, some families, obviously would have hard times throughout their periods. But at the same time, I figured like, it's important to have some challenges. It's important to have some hardships, because without those, obviously, you can't grow. And I always like to have that growing mindset. I can't just stay into a single area, And without this like mentality, you can't grow. You can't have a different mindset. You can't evolve. And that's one thing that I would like to have, just to have a growing mindset and being like thoughtful of the things that are happening to me, especially like whenever I have conversations with my own family. And it's a great time to be there with them, and I'm always going to be grateful for being a part of them, having time with them, especially like whenever my parents would need support. Obviously, I would be there for support, and them too, as a gate for me. But then also, I would like to also spend time with my siblings, because they're my little siblings, and it's not just only they're my siblings, but also they're my family. Obviously, as the oldest of my family, I feel like I have a greater responsibility to show a role model, and also just being the best version of myself, because that's always my main goal. So obviously, I'm always thankful for the efforts that I've done throughout my time, but also to the people who actually supported me since the very beginning. It's going to be very different for me, especially the fact that I'll be working this year. So it's going to make it a little bit different for me. Typically I would just be having like, would be home, help set up the table and everything. And, just prepare the turkey as well. So we would like, have a Thanksgiving feast. But I figured, we don't need that to be able to have like, the perfect Thanksgiving feast, like the traditional way. Sometimes we did it like different each year. Like the last year we didn't have turkey, we did tamales and tortas. So I figured that's better for me, keeping that same heritage that we want to be able to bring in from where my parents came from, and up to here to the United States. I figured, just being blessed with the different cultures that I actually get to experience, especially for me, I always take my Mexican culture, my Mexican heritage, might as well. Very important for me, and obviously I will never let that go. And that's also why I'm also grateful. Just being who you are, being from where you came from. Always be grateful for those things, because each culture, each traditions are very special, and you should never doubt what your culture can ever do, because they're very important and they're very special. So always be grateful for those. And back to what I was saying, how it was going to be different. That obviously I work now. I work at Subway, so I will be working on the holidays, and I know I'm kind of scared, because it's gonna be packed. I'm gonna have to be moving quickly, making them sandwiches. Like, oh, I gotta cut the bread. Like, oh my god, we gotta put the meats. And it's like, it's gonna be so much work. But at the same time, obviously your man needs money. Your man needs bread. So I need it. interviewed me. It was nice speaking on behalf about the significance of this holiday and for what it impacted the whole country. So I just want to say thank you and thank you.